Good morning and welcome to Marseille. I'm currently standing on the balcony of my little hotel. I'm at the new Hotel OK. Obviously you can see the old port of Marseille behind me, which is packed. It's huge compared to the old port of Nice, that's for sure. And it's got tons and tons of boats, ships, all kinds of things in it. With a little bit of a view of the fortresses and so much more going on. Marseille is a town that I haven't been to in like a decade at least. I haven't been here in a really long time, and already having gotten here yesterday, I can tell there's a lot going on and way too much to see in one trip. So on a little reconnaissance trip here before we spend more time in Marseille. A few things that interest me. Obviously, if you know me well, you know that Space Invaders is top of the list because there are a whole bunch of new ones that he put in here last summer and they look really cool, and I already have like 8 of them from yesterday. I don't know how far out of our way we'll go today for those, but we will try. There are 2 things though that really fascinate me about the center of town. One of which is the church situation. There are 2 churches in town that are pretty prominent, but one of which is on a hill. And I always thought that was the cathedral. It's the Church of Notre Dame. It is not the cathedral. I just learned this. The cathedral is down by the port, and it has a fantastic presentation as well, but their style is very different than what you would see up in Paris. Not Gothic in the slightest. The views are amazing. Can't wait to see that a little bit more. And then there's also a little bit of an old town that we're gonna go up and see. Has a lot of street art, very interesting, right above the port. And those are the 2 things in town that interest me the most. And we'll see what we find in between. And speaking of finding things in between, I need some coffee. And thankfully there's a little coffee shop and I think a roaster 4 minutes walk from here. There's a lot of stuff right around the old port that French Laura suggested to me. So let's go try that. Get a little bit of coffee, see what they've got for food, I'm hungry, and then start our day and see where it takes us. This is a lot of hazelnut. Definitely need the coffee with it, but this is really good. Well, everyone here is so nice. So we came up this long hill straight up the side from the port, the top corner of the old port, and you can see where we're headed here. Church on top of the hill. We met this guy who told us to take this stairwell here, go up through the woods, and that would take us there. And I don't see how now, but I'm gonna try anyways. We'll see if the old local guy with the baguettes is pointing us in the right direction. Head up and around. He had a New York Yankees hat on though, so I don't know how trustworthy he is really, but we'll find out. Oh God. It's a lot of stairs in direct sunlight. Patron? This is very steep. This is Elizabeth. She's the one that's helping me to distinguish what's trustworthy, what's not. Woo! Okay. I'm into this. I wonder what the rent is like here. Oh man, I thought we were at the top. The road ahead is cut, we've been told, so time for a detour. We worked really hard for that too. Going down just to go back up. Oh non, c'est a dead end. Ok. Mais on fait quoi? Ok, on les suit. I will say that after this week, my legs are like already jelly, so I'm climbing this hill multiple times for you. Thanks to Brad Shumard, today's patron producer, for sending me to climb this hill like 3 times, and all my patrons for sending me out here to Marseille. Have a good time, try some good coffee, and introduce you to some beautiful flowers, if nothing else. I mean, it's turning into a walk that Grandma Jane would absolutely adore. Notre Dame de la Garde, protector of the seas, patron saint of sailors. Best view in town, as far as I know at least. Found the cicadas again, so at least they're still around.
We made a second effort to go up and around to find like the less touristy path, but kind of failed. And in the end, I think I only have one more climb up the hill in my legs. So we took the regular road, taking this path around the side. We're almost there. Whew. And at the top, I'm definitely gonna crack open my water bottle because yikes. So just below, before we go up there, oh no, it's closed. I was hoping we could go in here, but there's a view with a cross and everything. Can't see the cross, but all right, well, so much for that view. And my excuse not to keep climbing. Here we go. The breeze is a lifesaver. So the crypt is down here, which sounds very cool, but I want to see what's upstairs. All right, I've lost my guide. She walked with me all the way up here and doesn't have a mask. For those of you that are curious, I just met Elizabeth at coffee, which happened to sit next to each other. And that's one of the reasons that I really like coffee shops in particular is for the environment. Obviously the South is much friendlier. We've literally talked to like every other person we ran into who gave us directions and kind of misled us half the time. And but it's both nice to be in the South where people are friendly, which is something that in Paris people are generally not apt to talk to strangers too much. And also, again, coffee shops, it's a good spot if you don't speak very good French to meet other Anglophones often. There were some around when we were there, but it's also just an environment that tends to encourage a warmth that you wouldn't find kind of in the traditional cafe. So that's a benefit there and why I do it. Anyways, my inclination is to go straight upstairs, but we know we need to earn that by going into the crypt first.
I love the colorful white. She's somehow closer. I love the colorful white.
So interesting. Didn't expect them to be doing a mass in the crypt. It looks beautiful in there, but not accessible at the moment. So we checked it out. I definitely want to go back there now. Whew, nice and cool. Let's go upstairs and see what we find.
I love the colorful white. She's somehow closer. I love the colorful white. She's somehow closer.
Wow, I don't remember this treatment. Oh, wow. I made it just in time. Look, they're not letting people in anymore for the service. Whew. Just in time. Anyways, they're about to do an English service, so that's kind of cool. Made it just in time before they kicked everybody out for that, so thankfully we managed. Whew, to get in, I don't remember that church at all on the inside. It's so cool with all the ships. Like they had a bunch of different ships. I wonder how many of them are real. Like how many of them are models and paintings, I imagine, of real ships that like are seeking the blessing of the church and of Notre Dame de la Garde. That was super cool. Is there something very modern about it, which I think the church is. I'll put up the year it was built on the screen, but I love the style. It looks like it came straight from Florence. And all the gold inside and all of the, it's just beautiful. It was very well lit. It's small. It's a lot smaller than you would think when you see it from across the city. But all those paintings of ships, just wonder what the stories are behind them. And they had everything from really old sailboats to like modern container ships. And I'm glad we managed to get in there before they weren't letting anybody in. That's the risk of going to a church on a Sunday. You might not get let in. But also a reminder, got to take off your hat when you go inside and currently wear a mask. Ladies, I think normally you'd have to have your shoulders covered, but in a place like Marseille, I don't know if that matters so much. At least they didn't seem to be making a deal about it when people were in there. So definitely well worth the hike. I also wanted to start by coming up here because I figured now everything's downhill from here. You'll be able to see from here, there's also the other church, the cathedral. This is a basilica, so it has a special denotation like Sacre-Cœur in Paris is a basilica and not a cathedral. There is a cathedral here, which is like the I guess you would say the seat like of the bishop, if there's a bishop in town. I definitely want to go check that out. It was built in the same style as this one, or vice versa. And I've never been inside that one, even though I did not remember the interior of this one at all. So lots of good stuff to explore. In the meantime then, we also need to go to the Panier. The Panier is this old neighborhood in town that has a lot of street art, lots of narrow streets. I did briefly visit it yesterday. It was really cool, and definitely got to go share that with you. And then we will see what that leaves us with as far as time and energy goes. But in the midst of doing all that, I'm sure we're going to find a lot of good stuff. Marseille is definitely going to be worth a second visit as well. I might even have to bring my dad down here for a visit, get him some sunshine, and you know, share in the views. Just stumbled on a nice little park on the hillside here, and let's chill. Nice little views. I am getting to that place where I need to pick a spot to go for lunch, otherwise I'm going to continue to get sidetracked by fun little spots like this. Also, I was hoping there was a Space Invader near here, and that's kind of keeping me around a little bit longer than I should be. Remember how I said that there was a beer distributor that used to own that tap house in Nice that I went to, where Brasserie d'Aqui is now? They told me that they've got a spot here, which is pretty much brand new. It looks really nice, and it's on the port, and I need to charge my camera a little bit, so I figured why not plug my camera in, pop over there for lunch, relax for a second, and then we can hit up the rest of the port, the cathedral, and the Panier. And if we do those things, I feel like that'll be quite the success of the day, and then we'll see where we go from there. I really hope that this path leads out. It looks like it does, and man, this is a steep entrance to a park. Whew. But hey, there's no easy way up a hill, right? That was not true at all. So many cool little side streets like this too. It's interesting because Elizabeth was telling me that there's a real sense of culture in each neighborhood here where things really change quickly, which is similar to Paris. And she said it's actually even more pronounced than Paris because this was a combination of villages that all kind of got subsumed into Marseille over time. And so each place is a little bit more, you know, people identify more with the neighborhood, with the village that they're from, so to speak. I just think that's really interesting. And it's, you know, that's an entire world that I really know nothing about, which is also why it's really refreshing to get out and explore a new town like this because, you know, I know a little bit here and there, a few fun facts, but really I'm just discovering everything as I go, and I love that because I don't have that same feeling in Paris right now. So it's a good change of pace. So a couple things that I found last night. If you're looking for a good rooftop bar, the Rowing Club has one. It's also a restaurant. At sunset, it was pretty perfect. Absolutely had to take advantage of that and just enjoy the light hitting the fortress. I'm sure there's got to be a better spot. And actually the restaurant above it, at the hotel right behind it, looked like it had an even better view. But it was fun. I'm getting hungry, but somehow I don't trust that. I do love the name though, Big Tasty. All right, speaking of Big Tasty, we're at the port, which means we're a hop, a skip, and a jump away from Beer District. I've already earned that, and we're only halfway through the day. How is time flying so fast? Oh no, I lost a mushroom. Oof, that wind feels great. There are a lot of opportunities to go out on the water, it would seem. Lots of ferries and little boats that'll take you on little tours. Just so much to see and do here. It feels endless. I wouldn't necessarily recommend coming to Marseille for a day trip because it is a solid, I think, 3-hour train ride by TGV down here. If you wanted to just do a day or two, there's plenty to do here and just see. And it's a town that's on the rise. I'll definitely be back. And so many Space Invaders I have yet to find. Just had to come in off the water a little bit, and bada bing, bada boom. There's another really good one that I saw yesterday just over here. It's probably my favorite. I'll show you that one. Too perfect for the beach. And a nice little motivator to go up these stairs when I was definitely gonna just go around this before detour. A monument to playing frisbee with your dog, with your bears? Frisbee Silwood Monument. Oh, cool. Look at this. From the little church here that looks very closed, there's a causeway that is very open, or a bridge, straight over to the fortress. Oh, well, we have to do that. It's a museum of the civilizations of Europe, apparently. Which, I'm not in the mood for a museum today, but I am in the mood to see what kind of views we can get from up here. Oh, sweet. Okay, this is making sense. I saw this museum yesterday, and there was a bridge over to that too, so it's all starting to make sense. Modern part of the Museum of Civilizations of Europe. Nice little rooftop spot to get a little bit of shade, lounge, some snacks. It's a good little discovery. Anywho, I think now that I'm coming back into the interior part, I probably have to put my mask back on, but we're gonna do our best to escape this part and get to the cathedral à toute de suite. Seems interesting. I don't know what the exposition is really all about. Anything that's toting like European civilization makes me well, curious. But how do I get out of here? Definitely confusing. I have to go even farther underground. I have to go so far down to get out of here. I knew I'd have to go down, but not this far. We're finally free. Next on the list. So there's an old cathedral here, right over here, that was built in the 12th century. And the new one was built in the 19th century, just like the one we just saw on top of the hill. I guess they decided to leave it here as a memento, which is very nice. And then the new one, well, let's go inside and check it out. I guess it's been, I didn't know there was a distinction between basilicas. This is a basilica minor. Not sure what that means, but it has a special distinction of its own. It's a national monument, and yeah, hopefully it's nice and cool on the inside. Really interesting to see the organ in a horizontal orientation. Oh man, it feels so calm and quiet in there. It was huge compared to the one that we just went to on top of the hill. Whew, that was a monster. It was massive. Very like simple, despite having some ornate features. It doesn't feel nearly as like ostentatious as many Gothic cathedrals and churches that I've obviously been into in Paris and everywhere else. Something really nice about it, really sturdy, solid. And I love the colors in the stone, the red, the greens, all of it. Looks so nice. All right, we can try to go into the 12th century one, see if that's open. Looks very off limits, but we'll give it a try. And then we're gonna go for a little exploration up in the panier. Having the windows sealed up is not the best sign. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're not going in there. But at least we tried. Now, to the panier. It's all starting to make sense. The Panier is where Marseille was founded by the Greeks. They built a town on top of the hill over here in 600 BC, what is now Marseille, with, look at all the street art too, this is amazing. And they call it Marseille's oldest suburb. I don't know how to take that after also reading that it was where the place was founded, but they refer to it as an open air museum. We'll see if that denotation holds true.
fabrique de l'huile, si vous voulez prendre. C'est de l'huile en fait qu'on transforme en cire.
Ouais.
Ouais.
Et c'est fait végétal,
C'est que végétal.
Donc c'est quoi exactement les ingrédients?
C'est des huiles en fait qu'on
Oui.
transforme.
Oui.
On fait ce qu'on appelle les huiles hydrogénées.
Ok.
On les transforme en beurre en fait. Voilà.
Ah.
Et après on rajoute dedans des cires végétales,
Oui.
de la cire végétale pour transformer vraiment en bougie. Pour qu'après elle soit vraiment comme ça.
Wow.
Une vraie bougie.
Oui.
Après ça redevient dur.
Oui.
Voilà. Et il n'y a pas de problème, il n'y a pas de substance toxique dedans.
Bon, c'est bien.
La marijuana.
Ça m'a dit. La marijuana, c'est ça.
Et là on a de l'Edelweiss.
Ah ouais.
La plante de montagne, l'Edelweiss.
Ah oui. Ah, ça sent très bon. Mais alors, c'est très 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 à main.
Ah, c'est ça.
Ouais, c'est cool.
C'est que du manuel. Après, c'est ça, la base, c'est ça, et le parfum.
Oui,
Après, l'assemblage, c'est facile. Mais
Ouais.
ça, c'est beaucoup de travail, ça.
je suis sûr.
Et ça, on le montre pas, c'est secret.
Non, ça va être bon.
Vous voulez en couler une?
Comment?
Vous voulez en couler une?
Oui.
Ouais. Et venez.
Ok, ok.
You don't come to Marseille avec un candle. Did you come to Marseille?
Oui, du coup, c'est vraiment pas bien. Mais
Voilà. Donc, on prend le verre
Ouais.
et verser dedans. Jusqu'à 1 cm. Impeccable.
Super, là. Plus des mots à apprendre.
Voilà. Et la mèche bien droite.
Très bien droite. Voilà.
Et bien au centre.
Bien la centre, comme ça.
Yes.
on est un peu décalé aussi dans la
Voilà. On va contrôler.
Dans la musique, on est décalé aussi.
Nickel.
Merci.
Nickel.
Première fois.
En fait, je ne t'ai pas dit quand j'ai fait les bougies chez moi, je suis toujours là. Non.
Parfait.
Cool. Well, that was a happy accident. I just walked by and I was like, oh, those candles look and smell great. And he was making them by hand. That was Ben. Ben and Steph, this is their new career. They just opened up. They're hand making those candles like that, which is amazing. The one that I bought lasts 70 hours, he said. And then they're also making they have a medieval recipe for soap that they're making in a very hygienic certified locations. That's in a lab. It's not in a store or a factory like they have for the candles, but I didn't get to know what their former career was, but you could tell that they were excited to be open. This shop's only been open a week. It's Ben and Steph, and if you happen to come to Marseille and you happen to walk around in the Panier, pay them a visit. They were super nice. The candles smell great. They're all made with natural oils. They said they extract the oils from all kinds of different plants. Everything's vegetal, he said, so everything's made from vegetation. And the perfumes or the smells, the odors, whatever, the scents all come from also natural sources, flowers and so forth. So I ended up getting one that was an Edelweiss, and they had a lot of great options. They even extracted some from fig trees, and it smelled super good, really sweet. I don't know, overall, that was cool. That was impressive. I've earned myself a drink. I need to sit down for a minute. I am wiped. So let's get a drink, and then we'll figure out what we're doing from there. But this street art, by the way, oh man, I gotta come back over here. Look at this guy. I love this guy. I don't even know what's going on. What's his name again? I think it's Gamio. Gamio. Freaking awesome. I love these murals. I keep trying the local beers and I keep being happy with the results. I'm basically finishing with a little bit of invader hunting before my legs fall off, so I'm gonna try to get to 20. Basically a combination of trying to discern where they are from the really rudimentary map that's available online for free, along with hashtags on Instagram, putting clues together from people's posts there. That's actually probably the easiest way to do it. Just gotta kind of figure out business names or street signs, and once you have a few of those things down, you can find your stuff. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this time in Marseille. I'm legitimately ready to sleep for about a week after the last few days of exploring, which has been really good. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed this slow roll series through the south. I definitely want to come back down and explore even more.
And if you enjoyed it, if you want to vote on some potential places I go in the future, and if you want to support videos like this in the future, no better time than now to become a patron. My patrons are the ones that make all of this possible in the first place. There's no way I could just go to the South for a week and make 3 videos like this without their help. So thank you to all my patrons for making this possible. And thank you to you if you're considering it and decide to join on the party. It'd be great. We're gonna introduce some new stuff in there soon. Hopefully the people that won those license plates are getting those very soon by the time this video comes out. Just so much more to come. So, thank you so much for watching, for joining in, for getting a little bit of sun with me. Hopefully not too sunburned or sunstruck. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for yet more madness from the delightful who knows where in France. I think I found where I'm trying to go.